Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It is Crystal. In this video, what we're going to be talking about is text functions and data cleaning in Excel. And this is lesson 4 of my free intermediate Excel course. If you haven't taken the basic Excel course, I would recommend you take it, and it is in my playlist, my list of playlists on my channel. So now we're on the intermediate Excel course. So you should already know how to use your filing system for Excel. You should know how to go into Excel, open a file, create a file, save a file, and close a file. So we're not going to cover that in this lesson, because if you're studying intermediate Excel, that should be something that you already know. So we're just going to go directly into Excel, into the lesson. So this is lesson 4, and this lesson is text functions and data cleaning. And so these are the text functions that we're going to be covering. So left returns the first character or characters in a text string based on the number of characters you specify. And I use that function every week because I have some spreadsheets that I have to use every single week. And basically what it is, I'm giving an employee number, and some of those employee numbers have suffixes. And since they have suffixes, it won't work with the suffixes, because on one spreadsheet I have suffixes on the employee numbers, and on another spreadsheet I don't have suffixes on the employee numbers. So I have to remove the suffixes. And so in order for me to remove the suffixes, I have to use the left function to do that. And the actual function, the actual code that I do is equals left and then the cell and then 8, because I want the first 8 characters. And that will return the employee number without the suffix, and then I can use it on with another spreadsheet that has the employee numbers without the suffixes. And the next function we've got is write, and write returns the last character or characters in a text string based on the number of characters you specify. So write is very similar to left, except for instead of you selecting the characters to the left, now you select the characters to the right. And mid returns a specific number of characters from a text string starting at the position you specify based on the number of characters you specify. So what mid does is mid returns the middle of a text string. So basically what you do is you indicate how many spaces into the text string that you want to go, and then you select how many elements of that text string that you want to select. So len returns the number of characters in a text string. Trim removes all spaces from text except for single spaces between words. Clean removes all non-printable characters from text. Text converts numbers to text, which may make it difficult to reference in later calculations. Concat combines the text from multiple ranges or strings, but it doesn't provide delimiter or ignore empty arguments. And text join combines the text from multiple ranges or strings and includes a delimiter you specify between each text value that will be combined. So those are the text functions that we're going to be covering in this lesson. So in this page, what we're going to be doing is I've prepared the lesson, so I'm going to be showing you how to use the text functions so you'll know how to use them. So this is like an employee number that has a suffix on it, and you don't want the suffix. So, like in my case, and this is a real world example, I have one spreadsheet of appraisals which has an employee number with a suffix, and then I have a second spreadsheet with training that has the employee number without the suffix. And so basically I combine the appraisal spreadsheet with the training spreadsheet, but since the appraisal spreadsheet has suffixes, the two employee numbers don't align. So I have to remove the suffixes to get the two employee numbers to align. So we've got the sample text of an employee number with a suffix of 1, and we're going to remove the suffix. So you're going to remove the suffix by saying equals left brackets A3, comma 8. So A3 is the cell that you want to use, and you only want the first 8 character, the first 8 elements of that text string. The next thing that we have is we have an employee number, but instead of having a suffix, we're having a prefix. And what you want to do is you want to remove the prefix. So in that case, you're going to say equals right brackets A4. A4 is the cell that you want to use, and 8 is the number of elements that you want to move to the left. And so what that does is that removes the prefix. Okay, so now what we do is we have a number that has a prefix and a suffix, and you want to remove the prefix and the suffix. So we're going to use equals mid brackets A5. That's the cell that you want to use, and you want to go into position 3. So you're going to start at position 3, and you're only going to take the first 8 elements of that string, and that removes the prefix and the suffix. So now we have another number 1 to 8, and what we want to know is we want to know the length of that text string. So you say length equals len brackets A6, and it gives you an 8. So that's telling you that there are 8 characters in that text string. So now we have just a statement saying I love Excel, because obviously if you're taking this course, if you don't love it now, you may learn to love it. And it's got extra spaces in it. So you can say equals trim brackets A7. So that takes all of the extra spaces out of it. So you've got I love Excel with only 1 space between each word. This sentence has a tab here and a new line right here. And so this sentence has non-printable characters. And then so in order to get rid of the non-printable characters, you go equals clean brackets A8. So if you get a data set, then you don't know if that data set has non-printable characters or not. So you can type equals clean brackets A8, and that will remove all the non-printable characters. So we have another number called 1, 2, 3. And you come over here and you type equals code brackets A9. And what that does is that's going to tell you what the ASCII characters, the total ASCII characters of that number is, which is 49. And then what this does is this is cleans B9 to give you 49. So this is a little bit difficult to work with. And so what it's supposed to do is supposed to remove all of the non-printable characters. But let's just make this space here. And then so you can see here that even with nothing in this cell, when you type code brackets A9, then what that does is that is telling you that's telling you that it still has a character in there. It has a non-printable character in there, and the non-printable character is an ASCII code 32. And then so when you say clean brackets B9, it's supposed to take out 32, but I personally haven't used this a lot, so I can only show you how it's used. So I personally haven't used it a lot, but basically it's supposed to remove non-printable characters. So if you want to remove the non-printable characters, you type equals clean brackets B9. And so if you get a data set and you don't know where the data set's coming from, it might be good to use it. You know, I know where I get my data. So we have another number, 1234.567, and we do text, and then so we convert this number to text. So equals text brackets A10, which is 1234.567, and then you can format the way that you want the text to look. And so now instead of 1234.567, now you have 1234.7. You can also got today's date. So this is going to be today's date, or so it equals text brackets today. So that's printing today's date, and you can set it up for month, day, year, but that's the American way. So what we'll do is see if this works, day, month, year. See if that works, because that's the American way. This is the English way. So yeah, so it set it up on the English way, so you can set it up for the day, month, year. Now we've got the day of the week. It's Tuesday. So you equals text brackets today, comma, and then you set it up for the day with a DDDD, and that tells you today's Tuesday. And now we're going to set up the current time, which is 7:30, equals text brackets now, and then you set it up for the hours and the minutes, and whether it's AM or PM. And you can see it's 7:30 now. We've got a number 0.285. We can set it up for percentiles. So equals text brackets A14, and you can set it up for percentiles. And so see you've got percentiles here. You've got a number of 4.34. You can set it up for fractions. Equals text brackets A5, and then you set it up. It sets you up as a fraction instead of a decimalized number. You've got a number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to have 4 zeros in front of it, so you want this to be an 8-digit number. equals text brackets A16, and that's telling you that you want an 8-digit number. So there's going to be 4 zeros preceding the number. So now what we've got is we've got like the word copycat. I just made it. We've got copy in one cell and cat in the next cell adjacent to it. And then we use concat equals concat brackets A17 and B17. So what you're doing is you're joining copy and cat together to make the word copycat. So we've got copy and cat in the 2 cells below it, and we're using text join, and it's going to have a space between the words, and true, and 18 and B18, and that gives you copycat. And so you can look up the actual syntax for text join, and it will tell you what you want to use. So we can say here, okay. So now instead of a copy space cat, you get a copy dash cat. But if you want to use text join, then you can look up the syntax on Google, and it will tell you how to actually use this formula called text join, because I personally don't use a lot of text manipulation functions in my day job. Most of what I do is numbers. So, but you can actually use text manipulation in Excel. So Excel can take text in addition to numbers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do an example. We're going to say extract postcodes from addresses. And so these are some addresses, some of the places that I have lived since I've been living in the UK. If I can remember, obviously, I've lived in a lot of places, so I can't remember all the places that I've lived. And I've just made up postcodes. Some of the postcodes I couldn't remember, so I just made up postcodes. But what I'll do is I'll go ahead and change these postcodes to make sure for anonymity, to make sure. So the postcodes are fake, so the postcodes are fake just to protect people's anonymity and keep people from using any postcodes. So first, you've got one address on 40 Mansfield Road. I did live there. Got one address, 1 Ebico Court. I did live there. Another address on Southampton Street. I can't remember the number, but I did live there. No, I didn't live on Southampton Street. I lived close to Southampton Street, but I was just making up addresses. And you've got another address on Waldeck Street. I did live there. And so what you want to do is you want to extract the postcodes. So you say right equals right brackets G3 8. So what you want to do is you want to extract the last 8 digits of this text string, because the last 8 digits of the text string is your postcode. And then what you can do, so you don't have to type this postcode in every single time you use it. You just copy and paste it down. So now you've got the postcode every time you use it. So I've got another exercise for you. This is how to remove duplicates. And so basically over here, just do this. So over here we've got the employee number and the employee name. And so you can see right here we've got some duplicates. So you come over here to remove the duplicates. I've got a note here as well. It says use duplicates in the data tab. So you come over here to data, and then you come over here to this little icon here where it says remove duplicates. And so what we're going to do is we're going to select the rows where we want to remove the duplicates. And so what I've done is I'm going to go ahead, and that has removed the duplicates, but I'm going to go ahead and go back, and we're going to try remove duplicates again. And we check OK. It says it found 5 duplicates removed. So you remove those duplicates. But I'm just going to go ahead and undo that so I can keep my duplicates in there, so we can show you how you are able to remove duplicates. So if you've got a data set and you've got lots of duplicates in the data set, you can remove the duplicates by using that methodology. So we'll just try it one more time. Let's see. So it's to select all. My data has headers, columns, employee number, and then you just check OK. But it doesn't allow you to move the duplicates into another column of data. So what I would suggest you do is, if you have a data set with a lot of duplicates on it, what I would suggest you do is you keep the original data set in one page, and then you copy another page, copy it into another page, and then so you've got your original, and then you've got your original data set, and then you've got the data set that you want to work with. Because when it removes the duplicates, it doesn't remove the duplicates into another column of data. So that's what I would recommend you do. You have the one page with the original data, and then you copy that page over into a second page, and you can call that like working data, and then you can work with the working data. So if anything ever happens to your data, you still got the original data. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to split the text to the columns, and then again, that's in the data page. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to clear this out. Clear contents. So you've got the employee name, and you've got the names of the people. So it's in the data tab. You come over here to text to columns. It's delimited, and then you click next. And then I've set it up for a space, and it says treat consecutive delimiters as 1, and then you click next. And then I'm going to say G3. I'm going to say it's going to go into G3. And then I'm going to click finish. And then what it does is it says the first name and then the last name. And then so you can come over here. And then you type first name and last name. So what you've done is you've taken an employee name and you split it out into first name and last name. And so let me see. I think that we have covered everything in this lesson, because we've done everything that we needed to do in this lesson. So that concludes lesson 4. of the Intermediate Excel course. So lesson 5 is going to be date and time functions. So that's going to be interesting. So I hope that you got something out of lesson 4, and I will be making a video for lesson 5 for you soon, and I hope that you decide to watch it.